Welcome to Top Dice. We're excited to bring you yet another episode full of engaging discussions and inspiring stories. I'm your host, Fiction Boy.
I'm Stream Arcadad.
I'm Whiplash Wolf.
And I'm Luis Hales.
And today, we're in for a treat. Our guest is someone who's lent his voice to characters that have captivated a community. A man who's known for his charm, charisma, and of course, the vocal cords that make magic happen. He brought life to the character of Angel Dust and in the renowned web series Hazbin Hotel. Please welcome Michael Kovach.
Hello! Hi! I voiced for
sound.
the pilot specifically and for Addict. But yes, I did voice Angel for the pilot and Addict. It's great to be here. You guys are all really fun. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm bad at taking compliments.
It's okay.
Yes. Welcome the one who has made you a furry, for sure.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, starting strong today.
He's converted
for
quite a few people.
And murdered
more
quite a
ways
few people to be gay, too.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to say this. I'll start with the first question, and then we'll go from Whiplash. Actually, no, we'll go from Stream to Whiplash and then House. Is that okay? Good. All right. So my first question is, before we delve into your fascinating career and your voice acting, we'd love to know about the moment you discovered this passion. And can you take us back to a defining instance when you knew voice acting was your calling?
Sure. Yeah. Like most people, I think that we all, to some degree, grew up with cartoons. And with me, I watched. I had this unique fascination with the character of Mickey Mouse. And so, just as a little kid, I would hear Mickey Mouse's voice, and I just recognized that's a very distinct voice. When you hear a voice like that, the first thing you think is, "Wow, that's Mickey Mouse," and it just kind of fascinated me. And so I really wanted to kind of figure out how to do Mickey's voice. I was in middle school, so I was a little kid, just going like, "Oh boy, haha, wow!" It wasn't really perfect back then. It was, it was a work in progress. But
Hey, you did well.
Hey, back then, these days it sounds more like, "Oh boy, gosh, oh no, I don't know." But yeah, just as a little kid, that's like a character voice that I heard, and I'm like, I want to be able to replicate that. And so I practiced it, and just over time, I kind of found fascination with other voices too. Over time, I was, I did little fan dubs of Sonic game clips back when I was in middle school, and I just kind of really liked doing things with my voice and acting with my voice and doing different character voices, just trying to act with my voice in general. And so just over time, that kind of grew into something that I knew I kind of wanted to do as a career.
Okay.
Yeah, long story short, Mickey Mouse inspired me, I'd say.
When you were trying to do the Mickey Mouse impressions, did it get you a lot of attention in middle school?
I didn't really try to do it in front of people because I'm a very inclusive, shy person. So whenever I would talk to people, I never really brought it up unless I was asked. So it wasn't really something I'd bring up. The thing that would get brought up the most is I remember in middle school, I impressed a lot of people by being able to do the SpongeBob laugh.
Wow.
That's what people in middle school.
That is
just
impressive.
Oh, wow. It's literally just I have to put my controller down to do it, but it's you take your your finger and you just kind of go up and down your throat like this with your neck. That's kind of what Tom Kenny does. You just see him go, where he vibrates his Adam's apple kind of. But
I remember seeing a video about that.
Yeah, it's a very unique laugh.
It very much is so. God. To be fair, if I had that power doing that, I'd just do that every time I laugh. I would just have to. Because people would just be so shocked they'd probably laugh harder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for our next question, sorry, I wasn't sure of the structure. So you portrayed your portrayal of Angel Dust in Hazbin Hotel has been acclaimed by fans. Can you share with us the process behind creating this character's unique voice, which you describe as your worst Joe Pesci impression? What inspired you to use that specific impression for your audition, and how did it involve the voice of Angel Dust we know today?
Yeah. So when I auditioned for Angel for the pilot, I sent Vivian my demo reel, and she liked it, and she wanted to give me an opportunity to read for 3 characters. I read for Angel, Alistair, and Husk, and I did audition for all 3. When I did Angel, I did 2 takes because I wasn't sure what kind of direction we wanted to go with. The first take was more or less my natural voice, because that's a thing that they say you should do when you're, auditioning, is include at least 1 take in a more natural voice. So I did 1 take that was basically my voice just going, listen, you win some, you lose some, whatever. Like just kind of talking like this as Angel, where it's a lot more natural and more like around here. And then I did a second take that was a little higher. It was not quite as high as the take I went with. It was just like, listen, you win some, you lose a few hundred, okay? It was more around here. And they were like, let's take it up a notch. Let's make it a little higher. Go for like a Joe Pesci. And let's increase the harshness of the accent. Let's make it a very thick accent. The 2 voice references that I was given were Clamps from Futurama and Joe Pesci. And so I went the Joe Pesci route, where, I watched a few of his old movies, and, there's obviously the classic, like,
what, you think I'm funny? Funny how? Funny haha? Funny what?
Like just that entire scene. So I kind of went in that direction, where I took, no, it's all good. Yeah, it's a funny voice.
So good. It's so good.
And so
I'm going to be laughing this whole episode. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Yeah, so when I did my callback for Angel, I specifically did that, where I tried to elevate it a little bit, and I just went like
yeah, some jagoffs got hurt, whatever, who freaking cares? I'm not gonna swear, because I don't know if swearing's good here, but who freaking cares, right?
So it's just a lot more exaggerated.
Angel Dust actually watching what he says, that's unheard of.
Alright.
I don't give a beep beep!
There we go. Oh, hey, I mean, it works.
So it's
but,
Pesci, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce that name, Pesci. Yeah, sorry.
Joe Pesci.
I know.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. He's a funny man. Yeah.
I remember watching his old movies. Oh god, it's just too funny watching him in them. No, it doesn't matter which movie
He was in Home Alone. If you remember Home Alone, he was one of the 2 people in that. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know the character. I think I know the guy you're talking about. Oh my god.
Which one? The tall and skinny, or the short guy?
The shorter one, the shorter, thicker guy. He's got the higher. Like if you listen to his voice, he's got that because there's what is it, Harry and Marv? I think. Yeah. I can't remember which one is Harry, which one is Marv, but one of them kind of sounds more like this. He's like, listen, Harry or Marv kind of sounds like this. And then there's Joe Pesci that's obviously like,
listen, you dipstick, we're gonna do it this way, okay? We're gonna rob these kids blind.
Like,
oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, comedy in that movie.
Oh, yeah, there's so much comedy. What was it, Home Alone, where the guy just got shocked by electrical box and just kept screaming more? He kept getting shocked.
Yeah, no, dude. Oh man, all of the stuff in Home Alone is brutal. It's brutal. It's really funny.
Absolutely.
It's like classic Three Stooges humor.
Oh, 100%.
That kid in Home Alone, that was basically me, but less dangerous than what he was doing.
Jesus Christ.
I would make a bunch of inventions and locks and strings and things that would go around the house and tracks, but they were not lethal. They were not meant to protect the house. But when I saw that movie, I was like so inspired. I want to make all these things, and my parents were like, no, you calm down, Stream. You're not gonna do that.
Good.
A little excessive.
They're like, oh no, we're seeing where this is going.
Oh
It's
no!
like they've seen Home Alone. It's like, oh, our child is not growing up like that.
Too late.
That child was a sociopath.
Yes, very much so. Alright. Okay, alright. Alright, so every role comes with its own sets of challenges and rewards. Could you share particularly a challenging experience you had in your voice acting career and how you overcame it? Conversely, do you have a moment that stands out especially rewarding or memorable?
That's a tough one because there's always going to be circumstances with every role. I guess more recently, one of the more like difficult things would be the Lackadaisy pilot just came out recently, which, by the way, absolutely loved working on Lackadaisy. Very, very fun. Characters are so silly. I don't know if anyone here has seen that, but it's got like that very classic, like, what is Xerox era kind of animation style where the lines are all very sketchy, and it's very nice. Like I really like how it looks. But either way, the character of Rocky, he's very much very theatrical with his performances, and he's got like 2 sections in the pilot where he is basically doing poetry, where he's quoting poetry or making up poetry on the spot while he plays the violin to it. I just remember, in particular with that one, that very first poem, the Old Man River, that seems far too unless you're a name. Like, there's a whole poem there that he does. That one in particular, we had to record, I think, 3 different sessions just to get the right take for that, because there were so many little nuances they wanted involved in that particular poem. I think we did we did 3 sessions, and I'm pretty sure most of the sections in that poem were all spliced from different sessions. It's just, that entire thing is just kind of Frankenstein to oblivion. There's so many different parts that were just taken from different sessions over and over and over. I think I read it, like, if I had to guess, like, maybe 40 to 50 times in full. Just we did a lot of takes for it, but it seems like people liked what it came out of it, so that is good.
I honestly enjoyed the pilot. Like, it's really good also, and I enjoy these, like, the line thing you're talking about, the Xerox. Like, the line over line shadow you can see even with the finish. To me, I actually like that. It looks more authentic, to me at least.
Yeah, like, I a lot of commenters and people were saying, oh, the animators were so lazy, they left in all the lines. The problem is that they did not leave in all the lines. They actually added all the lines after the fact, because some of those lines didn't even exist because of how digital art works. They didn't even need to make those for some, in some instances. So they just kind of added them for that visual effect. But I really like it.
To be honest, I really don't like the fact
isn't that the entire point?
Yeah, that is the entire point. It's supposed to look like the Xerox era of Disney, which is, like Aristocats or oh god, what else is there? There's a bunch.
Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone.
Robin Hood. Yeah, those kinds of movies, like that 60s to 70s era. I think even early 80s era Disney. Just that kind of visual look.
Yeah, they use those
Oliver and Company.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, just I really like the visual style. It's very, very, very distinct and stands out from everything else.
All right, I know how. You got a question?
Indeed. Given that you already have quite the resume under your belt, you were Rocky and Lackadaisy, Angel Dust and Hazbin Hotel, as we've discussed previously, but you were also in video games like Brock the Investigator, in which you're Graf, if I'm not mistaken. You were also Rich from Poppy Playtime. So I think the one curious question that I have to ask is there a role that you have been dying to go for that people have not considered you of playing just yet? Like, is there a role that you very much wanted to do, like a specific kind of role or kind of like a character in mind?
That is a fantastic question, because yes, usually a lot of the characters I voice tend to be more in my natural register or higher. I've only more recently gotten to do characters that are a bit lower in my register. So with Brock the Investigator in mind, I did voice Graph, which is basically my natural voice. He sounds like me. But there's also 2 other characters I voice in that game. There's RJ, who his voice, he's a big bear character in that game. His voice is
it's a lot more down here. He just sounds very rough and man.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh, hey, Brock, what's going on? You're a gator. I don't work with gators. Sorry.
Like he's very much like.
Don't stop talking like that. It's triggering my tics. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, no.
I won't talk like that anymore. You're good. You're good.
It's twitching.
I say continue on. I enjoy this.
Oh my god. I can't
It was
believe
so
this is
good.
happening. Oh my god. Okay. So one thing that really triggers me, like hardcore, is deep, sexy voices like you just did, and that took me off guard, and I started twitching because it got me.
You don't expect something like that from little old me.
Oh,
See,
man,
my
the only
my
person
big
that
voice
was-
impressions.
I am so sorry.
No,
You're
it's fine.
good.
I didn't expect
Oh,
it.
no,
I
that was
didn't
great.
expect
That
it.
was
I
a-
was just listening, and then it started. It started happening. The only other person.
Men started.
The only other person that has done to me was my friend Jake Carfield. He has a deep voice like that, and it drives me nuts. I love it so much, and it tingles in the back of my mind. It's just the way the frequencies it reverberates. It's just like it's really weird.
See,
to
my
explain.
deep voice. When I actually do try my deep voice, it does not work on him. It's
No,
probably because
you
you've been
don't-
around me too much.
Nah, there's
my
something
God.
missing. But you, oh my god, that was too good.
I think
That was too
it's the texture. I think it's the texture. I'm not
Yes.
gonna replicate it because I don't want to, trigger you. But
I say
I think it's
do it
that
again.
like
I
rough
liked it.
texture.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
But
What have I
the
done?
character.
The texture was
character,
amazing.
The character Rich from Poppy Playtime is literally that same kind of voice. I won't replicate it, but it's that same kind of voice. Yeah, that's the kind of character that I usually don't get to do. Is usually like lower voices. I definitely hope that at some point, I think I might have something like this coming along potentially that people don't know about just yet. I don't even know just yet either. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm in talks to do something that's like a lot different from usual, which is like a much lower, much more sinister, darker, kind of toned character. Which is something I've kind of wanted to experiment with because I'm so used to playing characters that are more chaotic and more like loud and like high energy. So like voicing a character that is more like low and menacing and scary and intimidating.
Like Sammy from Bendy and the Ink Machine. I'm immediately thinking of that right now.
That's a good example. Yeah, that's a pretty good example. Like voicing a character like that's just very low and menacing. I'm intentionally not putting my voice down there just for you.
No,
But
keep
yes,
going.
like-
Ignore me.
I
I'll be
say do
fine.
it,
I'll be
alright?
fine.
I say
funny.
do it.
Just
that
that-
was
Look.
hilarious.
Don't stop yourself
Here,
for me.
I'll
Because
do it for 1 second. Just that kind of like.
Very, very low. Or raspy. Intimidating.
Okay.
It's just
You good now?
scary.
Yeah,
You good?
that's it.
How
I'm
the
done.
hell do you do that? This is so
It's
good.
called-
How the
It's
hell
called
do you do
practice.
that?
And
I've just been
my
doing this for
God.
so long. I'm just so used to it.
Oh, you
Voice
found
acting
my
is
bit.
just a profession that people take for granted.
Yeah.
You do.
Um,
You
not-
do have to
not
practice
every-
your ranges.
Yeah, not every voice actor like has a vocal range that goes like super low to like super high. Like some voice actors are more like, in a certain range where there'll be voice actors in my regular range where they don't really go much lower or much higher from it. But that's perfectly fine. Like, it's a very like voice actors sometimes just have a specific niche that they're really, really good at. I'm very lucky that I'm able to kind of expand my horizons in a few different directions. So I just try to do what I can.
I'm actually
to the
curious
club.
about this. Did you train? Did you practice to get your voice so low and have such? How do you describe that?
I was a choir boy. I was a choir boy in high school, and back when I was in
Hallelujah.
choir. hallelujah. But yeah, I was a choir boy, and even back then in choir, I don't know if this is what necessarily did it for me, but I just remember we did not have very many boys in our choir. It was mostly, mostly female, mostly sopranos and altos.
Yeah.
There were no like masculine voices. There were like maybe 3 dudes and like maybe 20 female, singers in the choir. And so the 3 singers in the male section had to like really compensate. And I'll be honest, only one of the other people in my team really ever tried. There was always one dude that was just there. It's like, whatever, it's just spread it. And so me and this other dude had to put in all the work. And he was a lower tone guy. I was a higher tone guy. So I would typically go higher, but I could actually go lower than he could. So what we had to do is I had to during some songs I had to sing the tenor, and then for like some parts where it would get really low, I had to suddenly switch down to bass, and it was very weird. But I got used to it. It's just something that kind of developed.
Well, congratulations! You're the first person that publicly shamed me and found one of my rare weaknesses in public. Congratulations!
You are welcome.
So
quite impressive.
You were just one of 3 guys in your choir group.
It depends on what year, because there was one year where we had like 5, but like even then it was just at most we had like 5 people in our choir, and like dudes in choir, so doing bass or tenor, and
oh my god,
it was a very small amount. So I always had to, me and like 1 or 2 other people in the choir always had to step it up and make sure that we were on our A game.
Yeah, I just remember I was also in choir when I was in middle school, and I just remember for the last 2 years, I was literally the only boy out of the entire group, and that just made me do a lot of interesting performances at the time. I think I ended up getting my first standing ovation around that time. But moving on with the conversation of the voice acting repertoire.
That's awesome, though. Genuinely, that's really cool. Like, honestly, I recommend that if someone's interested in voice acting, choir is a really good tool for just learning vocal exercises and warm-ups and just kind of expanding your voice. And like, because singing and voice acting are 2, very similar hobbies. Like if you're good at singing, that helps expand your vocal range and helps you with enunciation, and it's just generally good for kind of getting into a good habit. But also it can lead to bad habits such as over enunciating voice acting, which you don't want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking to look more into that house. But yeah, I do singing too, so I want to do that. And plus, I told you, me getting into voice acting is something I'm building the foundation on too.
Yeah, and I wish you the best of luck. Like if you've got some experience with singing, I think that you've got a real good shot at just kind of using that kind of knowledge to help you break in and understand some qualities in your voice that you can definitely utilize in voice acting.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. That is actually a big help.
Yeah, of course.
Among all the characters you voiced in for Murder Drones holds a special place in your heart. You mentioned that you relate to M because he is silly, shouty, and fun. Could you tell us more about how you channel these aspects of your personality into the character, and I can't spell my words. And what says has voices impacted or influenced your personally or professionally? If you need me to repeat that, I can.
No, you're good. I basically got the gist of what you were saying. So yeah, N from Murder Drones is a character that I got to voice back in, it was like 2021, I think I auditioned, or was it 2020? I can't remember, but I've been voicing him for at least a year or 2. And he's very fun. He's a very like quirky, silly kind of character. He's basically in my natural voice. So he's probably the closest as far as like vocally, relating to me goes. He's the closest to what I naturally sound like of all the characters I've voiced. Yeah, he's very silly and very like quirky, and doesn't take himself seriously at all, which is something that I definitely relate to very heavily. As far as shouty goes, he's not super shouty compared to like a character like Rocky from Lackadaisy, who's very shouty. But he's more like, he does like very girly screams. Like he's very reactive, I'd say. Where some of the most fun I have with that character is just when he's reacting to things and he goes like it's just like a really high-pitched scream. Sorry if that peaked, by the way. I apologize if that peaked the microphone.
No, you're good.
Nah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd say like as far as that character goes, I just relate to him in the sense that he doesn't take himself seriously and that he's very much just kind of a silly guy. And I see myself as kind of a silly guy too.
Well, you do some silly things at home where you're just like, oh shoot, drop some shit. Oh well, I'll just pick it up. It's no big deal.
Oh, I'm very accident prone. I'll just trip over nothing. Dude, I was at the Lackadaisy mixer, and I specifically remember I tripped over myself. I tripped over myself and I completely fell over at the Lackadaisy mixer, and like Ed Bosco, who voiced Alistair in the Hazbin Hotel pilot as well, and he's in a few things with me. He's in Billy Bust Up as well with me, and probably some other stuff, but I can't remember it right off the bat. But I just remember he was behind me when I tripped, and he had to be like, "No one saw that," and it just kind of nobody acknowledged it. The rest of the time, it just happened, and nobody acknowledged it. It was kind of really funny. But yeah, no, I'm very accident prone and very like very clumsy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your peripherals is like not. It's like, oh well, I didn't see it.
I mean, to be fair, I'm the same way. I'm very accident prone. I don't know how many times I've like almost like hurt myself or tripped over myself just doing something stupid. Like I'll look at something and then I'll just immediately just forget what I was looking at, or I'll just I don't know where I was going with this.
I can't remember how long it's been, but definitely in this house I haven't. But in the last house, I've definitely fallen down the stairs. I just moved like 2 or 3 months ago. The last house we lived in for like 3 years, I've definitely tripped down the stairs like 5 times. Like I fall downstairs pretty easily. I just trip over myself. I'm very accident prone.
I feel like if I
trip down the stairs than what I tried to do one time.
You struggle with your balance?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, so as a kid, I had constant ear infections, and I guess that did affect my balance to some degree. So my balance is a little wonky. I do struggle to, and also I'm flat-footed, which doesn't help either. But yeah, I do have a little bit of balance issues.
I feel like if we were just like hanging out on my backyard patio. Your husband's that way too?
My husband is kind of like that too. He's flat-footed and he has terrible balance. He will trip over a crack in the pavement. And he scares the hell out of me every time because I don't know what's gonna happen.
I feel like if you were just like hanging out on my back patio at the pool, I feel like you would somehow fall into the pool.
I luckily have never fallen into a pool, but there's a first for everything.
Let's just hope it doesn't happen by accident. Before I get on to my next question, I got to say we hit something. All right, so subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Follow us on our audio platform and leave us a rating, and that will help us out a lot. Join our Discord and our Telegram chat. Links for all these are in the link tree below. Also, if you do hit the notification bell, it will link you with all updates of our latest videos and hopefully more shorts as well. There you go.
Hey Top Dogs fan, are you ready for an elevated fan experience? Discover exclusive perks by joining our server subscriptions on Discord or Patreon. For only $2.99 a month, become a podcast supporter, unlock raw, unedited podcast episodes, access supporter meetups, and receive a unique custom paw emoji, among other special goodies. Craving more? Then level up to our podcast supporter plus for $5.99. Participate in episode voting, share your feedback, and experience the excitement of being in our live audience. Plus, you get an insider's peek at our upcoming merchandising and more. Remember, your support is the fuel to our fire. While these subscriptions are optional, they significantly help us grow. So join us now and let's make the Top Dogs journey even more phenomenal together.
Before you do anything, Whiplash, I have a suggestion. Let's get Michael. Why don't you threaten our audience with the Angel Dust impression?
Actually, was gonna ask him that.
Okay.
What am I saying?
Don't do it.
What are we
Hey,
saying?
guy, I don't know who that character is again.
Michael, come here.
Go up there.
Hold on, here I
Go
come.
up there.
Hello, hold on. I need to switch into a bigger avatar. Here, let's do it.
Yeah,
Here, hold on.
Wait. I can grab you. I
lift him
think.
up.
I think I
You
can
can grab
grab
me?
you. Yes. Okay. Wait. Okay. Wait. Do I have grabbing powers? Don't I have grabbing powers? In Cheeky.
Oh, there
Okay,
you go.
well,
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Well.
I guess I'm going to be in.
What am I
Mr.
doing?
Hi.
Just
Hello.
threaten
You
him.
can threaten.
They threaten you.
You can
Hey, bozos. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, so I'm not going to swear, but you dipsticks better watch the Top Dogs podcast. I swear. I'm looking at you. I see you. I'm looking at two cameras. There's two cameras in front of me. Watch the Top Dogs podcast or I don't know, you'll burn in hell or something. This camera. Okay, I'm looking at this camera. I'm looking at a camera. Not that camera, this camera. There we go.
That works.
Hello. Hello, camera.
Yes.
Hello.
As Mario once said, you go to hell before you die.
Go to hell before
Oh,
you
that was funny.
All right, here I go, sitting down again.
Oh,
There
that
we
was
go. Oh,
great.
now
That
I'm
was
in the
great.
wrong direction. Let me fix myself in real life.
That was awesome.
Funny as hell. Wow.
Very fun.
Hilarious.
All right. So, now I'm going to ask you this question. Let's get serious, people.
All right, so for the next question.
Let's go.
Let's put on a serious face and let's do it. All right.
All right, let's ask those goddamn questions already.
All right.
Okay,
let's
so
do it.
in stop.
No, do it.
I never get
I didn't even add any gravel. I didn't even add any gravel to that. That was just me a little.
God.
Look, it's just fun
Yeah,
seeing
it's
stream
fun.
actually twitch over here. I like seeing it.
The amount of people that I've saw me Twitch like that are so little. So little. I
Not if I
portrayed
get
this
my
very
video on
strong,
it.
tough person, and now I feel like a complete wreck right now, but it's fine. I mean, if
It's
it makes
great.
people laugh, then
Every
good
con
for
you
it.
go to now, people are just gonna walk up to you and try their most deepest voice they can give you.
Yeah, and they'll know right off the bat. If I start twitching, that means you're doing a good job. If I don't twitch, I'm like, oh, it didn't work. That could be very interesting. Oh well. So for next question, in Dragon Goes House Hunting, you lent your voice to Letty, the main character who embarks on a comedic adventure after being kicked out of his father's home. Can you share with us what drew you to this role? How do you approach voicing a character like Letty, and what challenges or joys did you experience in bringing up this unique character to life?
Yeah, so Letty is a very interesting one because Letty is an anime voice acting role, which is different from a lot of the stuff I usually do because I voice act for a lot of indie animation online and video games, stuff like that, which, you know, that's all kind of voice acted. There's a word for it, but you don't have any you don't usually have reference materials, like maybe like storyboards and like little character designs and stuff. But with anime, you know, you're dubbing to picture, and so I have to match lip flaps and stuff like that. That is the first time I ever had to match lip flaps for you know, any kind of anime dub or anything. That was a really unique experience because with anime, that's usually the harder kind of voiceover work for people, just because it's a lot more technical. There's, you know, you listen to the 3 beeps and then you have to match lip flaps. And for some people, it's a pretty difficult process. It's not usually as easy. I'm very lucky that I kind of was able to get used to it very quickly. Because I'd only done one other anime role before that. It was a character named Bunny in a show called Akudama Drive, and they had no mouth flaps. They were just like a little stick figure character. But Letty is a very wholesome, like, gigantic dragon boy. The lead character in that show, which means I had a very large amount of dialogue at all times. But yeah, he's a very sweet boy. He's like, his voice is around up here, so he just was like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry, Diaria. Like, he's just a very, like, he's very accident prone, actually. You know, coming back to being accident prone. Very accident prone, clumsy, like, gigantic doofus of a dragon that, like, you know, he would consider himself like, I'm such a waste of oxygen. Like, that kind of a character. Very self-deprecating. He's very cute, very fun. But yeah, like, as far as like that role goes, it was so different just on a technical note, because again, when you're working with anime, you have a script, you have lip flaps. Sometimes the script you're given don't always match the lip flaps perfectly, so we'll have to take a minute to like kind of fix the dialogue to actually fit the lip flaps a little better. Or sometimes the dialogue will be out of character and we'll have to fix it while making it match lip flaps. So like, I got to be a little more involved in that and actually make suggestions for certain things, which was really fun. And it was a simul-dub, which means the show was airing in Japan as I was dubbing it. I think we had like a 3 to 5 episode like backlog at times. So like episode 5 would be airing in Japan, episode 1 would air in America with the dub. And it was just very cool getting to work on something that was still airing in Japan. Very unique experience. I'm still not used to doing anime because, again, I'm usually an indie like animation voice actor. So anime is like a different territory for me, but it was a lot of fun. I really had a good time voicing Letty.
Oh.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I like that dragon though. He was.
Sweet.
You would think a dragon like that would be very tough and, you know, deeper voice. I was like, oh, I fell in love with him. He was just so adorable.
I know, and also that anime has some good like life lessons to some degree, because it is a show about like this dragon is house hunting. It's in the title. I think the Japanese title is Dragon Go Buy a House. That's what the Japanese title is. Dragon Go Buy a House. But it tackles a bunch of subjects like, you know, taxes, property taxes, certain like loans and things that go into a house,
Wow,
like, you know,
okay.
schematics of building it. Like, it actually is rather informational to some degree about things with buying a house.
That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna learn to do my personal finances on an anime.
There's an entire episode where just like I think it's episode 9 or so. Oh, I just fell out of my chair. Oops.
Oh no.
Here, I'm coming back. Here we go. Okay, back in the chair. Technical glitch. Sorry about that. There is an episode, just like episode 9, I think, where he just is hunted by a genie that is like an IRS agent, like. And is just like, hey, you've never filed any taxes on your property. What's the deal with that? And so you just kind of get the whole shaloo about, you know, all these tax records and all, like, just all this stuff that like actually is real, that people really do deal with in real life. It's kind of just very bizarre that you see that in a show like this. It's like a fantasy.
Yeah, never thought I would learn personal finances from an anime. You're teaching us already better than high school.
Yeah, dude, did you see the episode of Teen Titans Go where Robin is telling the Titans all about like here's how you become a landlord, and talking about like all these things about, you know,
Get a loan and
oh god, it's a very like weird episode, just where he's talking about loans and getting a house and getting tenants in your house and just all this weird stuff that I wouldn't expect to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're talking to the wrong person, because I've never seen Teen Titans Go. I have no interest in it. I have too much pride for the original for peace sake.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I've only seen clips of it.
I've only seen clips of it, but oh my god. What made Teen Titans work so much, I just love that it's kind of like a blend of Western and anime combined into a TV show. I wish they would continue making that again.
Oh, the style was on point. Like, and also, Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I don't know if that's like the actual name of the band. The show is great. The band members, the actual like band, they did the theme song, and it's such a good song. The Teen Titans Go! Just
That was pretty good. I remember that.
Entire aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of Teen Titans.
Me too.
That era of Cartoon
VR
Network
chat
was
is
just the
annoying.
bomb. The era of Cartoon Network around that time was just the bomb. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Ben 10, Teen Titans. Like, so much could be done so much was done during that era.
There's so much
Was.
like magic to that era that just, I don't know, some elements of it just cannot be replicated at this point. It seems like a lot of it was just kind of very much in that time.
I mean, what
I
we
don't
had?
know why
Johnny
you would want to
Bravo.
replicate it though.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo, Ed, and Eddy. Kid Next Door, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Billy and Mandy,
Oh, Kid
The Grim
Next
Adventures of Billy
Door.
and Mando, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah,
Yes.
95 to 2005 was like the king of like
Golden
cartoon shows.
age. Yeah.
It was.
I would, you know what? If there was a character I would like Michael to play, just out of just the blue, I would love for you
Johnny
to play
Bravo.
Cheese from Foster Home for
Oh.
Imaginary Friends. Cheese.
What the?
I like chocolate milk.
That character?
Yeah, there we go.
I like.
Oh my god.
I like chocolate milk.
I like chocolate milk.
He's just very, very silly.
I love it.
I like chocolate milk.
Oh,
That's such a great character.
I remember, I distinctly remember just back, I don't know if any of you have seen Honeycast or know Honeycast. That's a podcast me and my girlfriend Ashley have done in the past. And still do to some degree, but it's like very, very rare that we do it. We're trying to pick it back up. But, to go off that tangent, I just remember one of the people we have on that show, Ed Bosco, who was, again, the voice of Alistair in Hazbin Hotel. I just remember during one stream, I don't know what happened. He just was on a kick where he had just learned how to do like an impression of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and so almost the entire stream he would just go like, "Oh, the things I do for love." He constantly would just do that impression, just like, "Oh,
I love
Muriel,
that.
oh, oh."
That's
funny,
great. I need. You know what? I'll ask about that later because I'm curious.
I've been following Ed since he was in the Brony fandom when he used to be Black Griffin for the longest time.
Oh,
That's who it
no!
was, right?
Black Griffin is the singing
wait.
voice for Alistair. Ed is a different person.
Oh, okay.
No,
really?
Gabe, Black Griffin. He's also very, very sweet. I haven't spoken to him as much as I have with Ed, but Black Griffin is also just a total class act. Like I've never had a bad experience with him. He's very sweet.
Aw,
I never
would
knew
figure
that there
from
were
the
two
stuff I've seen of
characters
him.
playing him.
Well,
Yeah,
some
there's
voice
a
actors
singing,
usually have a
singing
singer.
voice. Yeah, Alistair had a singing voice just because, with Alistair, there's a certain style of singing that he does, and I don't think Ed was, at least at the time, not really able to replicate it as well as was needed. So they had a secondary voice just doing the singer for Alistair.
I still have mixed feelings about knowing cartoon characters and knowing that they have the main voice and then they have another person doing the singing, because depending on who you cast as both, it could easily be distinguished that they're two completely different people, or they're both phenomenal and they just sound like the exact same person. I still have mixed feelings about that.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it depends on how you feel about it. Again, because there are a lot of instances where I wouldn't even really recognize that there was a different voice. Like, you watch a lot of older Disney movies, like you watch Aladdin or you watch Hercules, and you recognize that the singers for those characters are all different than the actual voice act. Like Matthew Broderick is a singer. I think he does sing as Simba in that movie. I can't remember if he does or not, but in at least Hercules and Aladdin, those have different singing voices than the actor. And I would never have known if it wasn't pointed out to me, at least as a kid. Like as an adult that's into voice acting, I kind of can tell now, but back then I would have never guessed.
Scar does. Scar has a different singing actor.
Well, Scar in Lion King, he's mostly Jeremy Irons, but there's just one part where he blew his voice out, and then they had to get Jim Cummings to do the rest of it. You can kind of hear when it is though, because you'll hear like aspects of his Tigger voice. Tigger like, that character. Like you'll just hear aspects of that in Scar after a certain point during his song.
Oh, really? I need to
Be Prepared.
Find that out.
In Be Prepared, if you listen to it, Jeremy Irons sings up to the point where he says, "You won't get a sniff without me!" And then after that, he blows his voice out. And then from there on, "So prepare for the coup of the century." That's all Jim Cummings instead. Everything from that point on is the voice of Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. From that point on.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna have to watch Lion King to see that.
Yeah, no,
watch Lion King again.
I don't have much knowledge of the voice actors out there and the names and everything, but I feel like they come back, but they do so many different voices that you can't tell. Like this one individual could be doing 15 different voices. It's all the same person.
The actor that I was just mentioning, Jim Cummings, I called him Tigger's voice actor specifically because that's the voice that like I recognize the most out of that, Be Prepared song. He's also Winnie the Pooh, and he's also like Pete in Mickey Mouse. He's what is it? What is the lightning bug character in Princess and the Frog? The one with a very Cajun accent. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's like Disney's main voice actor, and he's very versatile. Wow. It's very wild just how there'll be certain voice actors that with certain studios they get utilized a lot, like Frank Welker, Jim Cummings, Tom Kenny. Sorry for I don't know if you guys know
you're
all
fine,
those
man.
names,
No, you're fine.
Yeah, just
I don't know
those
those
are all
names,
like,
but it's okay. It's good for knowledge.
Those are all specific voice actors that just are all over the place, do a lot of work. That Tara Strong is like another one. Just do a lot of work. People, might not always recognize it, but they're everywhere.
You know what? Let's switch it up a notch.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna ask you questions that does not involve voice acting. Okay.
Perfect.
We go to conventions. We go to conventions, right? And last week we had our convention episode. So, do you have any crazy or weird convention stories?
I have one that I don't think I've spoken about publicly. That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna give out too many personal details on this person because I don't want them to.
You
feel
don't have
bad.
to if you don't want to.
No, I'll tell it. I don't want them to feel bad if they somehow stumble upon this and realize, oh no, I left a bad impression. It's fine. I don't worry about it. If you came up to me, I might recognize you because I do remember the event pretty well, but I won't be offended or upset. I'll just be like, hey, maybe don't do that next time. Okay. So they I was guesting at a convention in Florida called Ancient City Con. And I got to meet a lot of lovely people there. Very fun. There was a cosplayer that came up to my booth and said hello to me that was dressed up as the character Valentino from Hazbin Hotel, which, for context, Valentino being Angel Dust's boss, who I guess him and Angel do not have the best relationship. They've got a pretty toxic relationship.
I already know where this is going.
Yeah, I can already.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Oh God.
Well, the way that the situation that I'm describing went is this person, wanted me to. They wanted to film a little video where I confront the character of Valentino as Angel, and so they had their little. They had a friend with a camera kind of record it, and they had me, just kind of approach Valentino and say something as Angel,
I really don't appreciate the shit you do to me. I don't appreciate
stuff like that. Just kind of also I swore, but that kind of stuff.
You're fine.
Yeah,
you're good.
Where it's just him confronting the character of Valentino. Before I even said anything, this person grabs my shirt and pulls me in. And starts yelling at me as if they're the character, and I'm like, this is not appropriate. I'm like, this is absolutely not appropriate. What is going on? I didn't say anything in the moment because I was just taken aback by it. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I just kind of let it play out. I do say whatever I said is I don't even remember what I said, but I basically do confront the character in that scenario. And then the video ended, and I'm just like, wow, that was a really awkward experience. I don't want to have that happen again.
It's kind of it kind of reminded me of that one scene where Heath Ledger was playing the Joker and he was talking to that lady. She was actually very uncomfortable with that scene. But he was really getting into his Joker character. That's what it reminds me of. If you know what I'm talking about. If you knew that she was uncomfortable about that. She was legitimately uncomfortable if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I believe it. There are things like that in movies, yeah. No, it's not. It's not. Like, the thing is, though, is that in some situations, it is partially on me also for not like explaining my boundaries in that moment. So I don't blame them because they didn't know. But also, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I think maybe you should have a little bit of foresight that maybe grabbing another person by their shirt and dragging them like very close to your face in a public setting when they are, a guest at a convention maybe isn't the greatest thing to do, but
it still doesn't make it okay. Okay, that is, if the person wanted to grab your shirt in the first place, it should have been mentioned ahead of time. Even when you're acting in a scene or you're doing this for TikTok, everyone should be on the same page. And if everyone's not on the same page, regardless of what the scene is, what it's for, and what it's going to turn into, whether it be for professional production or whatever, everyone should be on the same page. So what that person did, regardless of whether it was a couple of months ago, is still like no. No,
for sure.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to play my devil's advocate here. So I come from a cosplay background before being in the furries, and sometimes it's really easy to fall into your character and pick up the mannerism and stuff like that, and you kind of forget, wait, or like in real life, I can't just do things like that. So probably the guy was really excited and he was just playing his character. He was just passionate and it just came natural. He didn't think about it. I'm guessing that's probably what happened. Because it's something that can happen. Normally, logical or human being, yes, we're gonna have a discussion. Hey, yeah, is it okay if I grab you by the neck? It's just gonna be for a video. Normally, that's what you do. But I think probably the guy was really excited to meet you and kind of forgot the good manners. So.
Right. Like, again, like, they're very, in this situation, I guess it's a good thing that I've got thick skin and I'm able to, like, understand the context of it and be like, hey, you know what? It's fine. Just don't do that again. That wasn't
scary,
very
though.
kosher.
For sure.
I feel like if it were someone that had more, like, I guess, I don't really have a lot of trauma with like experiences like that, so to me, a situation like that, I'm just like, it's all in good fun, but also it's just a little awkward for me. You could do that to someone that maybe has a little trauma, and that's gonna horrify them. And so,
yes,
like,
definitely.
In this situation, it's a good thing that I'm someone who's very chill, and so like. The most it was for me is just, wow, this is an uncomfortable situation, not an I'm traumatized situation.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where sometimes you just kind of need to understand what is and isn't appropriate in a public setting. And like, I don't know if they really put that into perspective. I didn't really say anything in the moment, so I don't really blame them too much. I get they were probably very excited, and I've got no hard feelings. It's just a situation that I remember, and I'm just like, that was strange.
Yeah, it's no excuse for proper good manner. It's an accident. He did a mistake, but still, like, people, they should always ask. Like, if you're gonna, for people out there, if you're gonna meet somebody that, you're a big fan of, you like their work, try to remember to be polite and don't forget the basics of meeting somebody new. You know them more than they know you, so don't make it awkward for them.
Yeah,
we're all human beings here.
Yeah, and also just the thing that like, made it. The thing that just made it a little more awkward was just that it was a very public setting. So, like, every single guest next to me and across from me, like, immediately looked up because they yelled when they, like, put my face in. They yelled out loud. So I'm just like, everybody is watching. What the fuck? So I'm just like, that's a little weird because everybody in the surrounding area is watching. I'm like, this is a little weird.
But yeah, it's one of those awkward just moments where you're just like, ugh, I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
like,
like,
I hope this ends soon.
We've all had that moment.
Yeah, we all have. But I have one more question to ask you, and then it will be the end of the show soon. So here we go. Now, what's a common misconception people have about you when they meet you for the first time?
Well, I used to go on VR chat a lot more, and so I would meet people on VR chat, just kind of in rooms, because I've got a lot of friends that use VR chat more so than I do. I haven't really used it in years. But a common misconception that I've experienced is just people expecting me to not be myself and not expecting me to just be more chill, I guess. Because a lot of people, when they see someone that, you know, especially as a voice actor for a character they like, sometimes they'll think that a voice actor, like, is a method actor almost, where they'll think that I'm constantly in character, or I'm constantly, like, you know, acting as Angel, or I've got, like, similar behaviors to my character, like Angel or Rocky or N or anything.
But it's not like you're a WWE wrestler where they have to believe in their own gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like I can get into a character, but I'm not that character. So I'll meet someone and they'll be taken aback that I don't act anything like my character. It'll just surprise them. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm just a guy. Like, I'm a voice actor and I do, like, voice these characters, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna behave like them or role play as them.
Yeah.
If I meet someone, like, I'm not really that type of person to just be, you know, in character at all times around people. But yeah, that's the main thing, is just people not expecting me to be, like, just myself and not a character. That's something a lot of voice actors tend to go through, is just them kind of being associated with the character and them assuming, oh, so you're like this character as a person, and that's not necessarily the case.
I feel like
I'm probably
that's
gonna go through
every
that,
actor
too.
in existence, though.
Exactly.
Pretty much they
It's
pinpoint
probably
you
going to
as
have it to be too.
they pinpoint you
And
as this person that they recognize you as. They don't actually think you're an actual person, like, behind the voice of their favorite characters.
And you know what? Honestly, I think it's perfectly fine in, like, certain situations. Like, if you're at a convention or something, if someone comes up to you and is like, "Hi, Angel Dust," of course, especially if it's, like, someone who's a fan and I'm at a convention and it's, like, that kind of situation, I'm gonna be like,
Well, look who it is. Hello, nice to meet you. What's up?
you know, I'll just go into character for them, because they came to a convention to see me, and, like, they know me for Angel. Of course I'm going to give them, you know, Angel Dust. That way they're having a good time. Or if someone comes up and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Rocky," I'll be like, "Hey, how's it going?" just kind of go into character, do the voice, talk to them as the character. I'll do stuff like that for them in that situation. But, like, if it's a more, like, casual situation, let's say I'm at a convenience store and someone just happens to recognize me. I'm not going to be inside of a convenience store and just start acting in character. It's a little weird, especially if there's a lot of people. I might, like,
It's not the
acknowledge
vibe.
I might acknowledge that I voiced the character and be like, "Hello," like, you know, if they ask me questions, or if they say, like, "Can you say something as Angel?" I might be like,
Yeah, whatever. Let's move on. Screw this.
like, I might do something that, like, a little quieter and low key in a situation like that. But, like, I'm not gonna just immediately go into character, like, just off the bat, like, "Hey, Angel Dust." I'm not gonna be in a grocery store and go like,
Who the fuck said that?
I'm not gonna do that in a grocery store or something. I just remembered, because when I first moved to I moved to California for a little bit with my partner, just while she was getting her affairs in order to move to another house, which we live in now in Washington. But while we were in California for a short while, we went to a Staples within the first week we moved, and immediately this dude recognized my housemate's Hazbin Hotel shirt and was like, Oh my god, I love that show. Do they have any merch of Angel Dust? And I was there, and we just stayed so silent because I was not about to out myself. I was like, this guy doesn't even know.
He doesn't know what he's up against for sure.
It's okay. He doesn't have to know. We'll go incognito.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do that all the time. I just last week I went to a pet store, and immediately after I left the pet store, I got a notification for a mention on Twitter where someone's like, totally just saw Kovach at my job today, and I'm like, bro, were you at the Petco? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, holy crap. Okay, well, we live in the same town. Hello.
Oh my god.
That's
Yes.
amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
so
yes.
wild.
Yeah, it could be that way sometimes. But anyways, Michael, thanks for coming on to this show. It really means a lot.
Absolutely.
Big honor for that.
Thank you
Hey,
so
thank
much.
you so
We
much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No more
You're
about
You're
you.
really funny.
Really funny.
You're really funny too.
You just had to do it just one more time.
I just had to do it one last time.
Oh my god.
Oh my
so
god,
sexy.
that's so.
Oh my god. Why does it fluster me so much?
Listen, coming out
so
of this
good.
avatar, you don't expect it.
It's
No,
fine.
it's
That
it's
is a fair
startling
point.
because I was
That
like,
is a fair
whoa.
point.
Oh my god.
I just picture this bearish man speaking to me with that voice, and it's like, oh yes, please.
It couldn't be farther. It couldn't be farther from how I actually am, which is just, it's really funny.
That's what's
yeah.
great about it. But again, thank you, and we are going to end this episode. We'll see you guys next week on Top Dogs. Until then, have a good night and enjoy your week.
Oh man, I hope
Good night. Bye bye.
That's a wrap.